Hey everyone, well today I wanted to show you this other Nissan product that's on our used car lot. This is a pre-owned 2011 Nissan Sentra. Now I'm pretty sure this one was an ex-rental. It has about 45,000 miles on it. And it's just a lot of miles for an 11. That's a lot of miles for an 11. It's also got these new tires on it, so it's most likely a rental. It's funny because my boyfriend actually has the 2008 Sentra that he's driving around. It's not his, it's his sister's, which he doesn't like the car. He's an Audi person. And they haven't really changed much for the Sentra. I mean, it was redesigned in '07. They've updated the hubcaps and a new grille on the front, but in terms of everything else, it's pretty much the same car. And let me tell you, I am not impressed with this generation Sentra. I will give you this though. I would probably take it over a Corolla. But in terms of what's out there now for 2012, I mean, when came out in 11, it's still the same car, which Nissan is finally going to update it for 2013, I believe. I mean, out of the Focus, the Civic, the Mazda 3, the Hyundai Elantra, there's so many better choices than this car. I mean, if you have to go Nissan, I guess it's decent. It's a decent effort, but I just think there's so many better choices out there. And this one is a base model Sentra. It doesn't have the push-button start that my boyfriend's '08 has. So it is one of the few Nissans I've seen with an actual key. The door chime sounds like a mixture of the old Honda and old Toyota door chime to me. But as you can see, the seats, I mean, the interior, it's got a gray, pretty boring looking interior. It's pretty dated. I mean, compared to the 12 Ultima I did, this one's very old feeling. There you can see the mileage, 45,548. The gauges are different from my boyfriend's, so they do look better than the '08s. This one is equipped with Nissan's 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. Trim pieces are different here and there. The interior design's kind of old looking, especially with this blocky aftermarket looking radio. Most cars today have like a flush system. This doesn't really do anything for me. I mean, it's a decently smooth driving engine. And it actually revs pretty well, so that does impress me a little bit. Let's see. In terms of the dash materials, it actually looks like soft plastic, but it's actually a hard plastic, but it's grained pretty nicely. It's got a kind of rubberized texture graining. The fit and finish in here is decent. Definitely not as nice of interior as the Ultima. The steering wheel has this really cheap feeling vinyl on it, so definitely go for one that has the leather. This one doesn't have Bluetooth either. My boyfriend's has Bluetooth. This steering wheel plastic reminds me of the crap that's on my mom's yard, or that was on my mom's yard. She doesn't have that car anymore. The door panels here are surprisingly soft touch, so at least they did well there. This is padded right here, but this door panel right here is actually coming apart. Not in this one because it's newer in my boyfriend's, but that could just be from abuse because he abuses that car. But it's kind of a cheap feeling hollow door handle, but the fabric here is at least decent, and it's an automatic up window, thankfully. The center console has an iPod USB port, so that's new. It's kind of flimsy feeling, and it's barely padded. These cup holders are an interesting design. I don't really care for them. This does have, unfortunately, a Cvt transmission, so you do have to deal with that. And unlike the Cvt and the Ultima, which had a sport mode, ooh, that's a really huge glove box. Wow, that's really deep. Which had a sport mode, this doesn't, and it's kind of it's very rubber bandy and droning from the 4-cylinder engine. So this car, driving around this car, definitely reminds me of how much I hate CVTs with a 4-cylinder engine. There you can see Nissan's 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. It makes 140 horsepower. It's a pretty just adequate engine. Nothing really special about it. No direct injection, variable valve timing, but it's comparable to the Civic's 4-cylinder. But the Civic's makes the same horsepower from smaller displacement. I want to say gas mileage for this car is about 24, 34, maybe something like that. I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to double check. I don't follow the Sentra too much. The back seat is actually not bad. That's where I'd have it to drive. Not bad, and you do have an armrest here, so that's pretty decent. Better back seat, honestly, than the Focus in terms of space. And surprisingly, it's still soft touch right there. Let's take a look at the trunk, which I think was already open. Did I pull that? No. Decent sized trunk. And I remember when Nissan introduced this car, they wanted to point out the fact that there was actually a divider in the trunk, which this one doesn't have. That there's actually a little space that you can see the indentation for it. Something would cover here, so you could kind of hide stuff in there. Higher trims, I guess, have that, and this one does have struts. Pollen is everywhere. Oh. But let's go ahead and just take you guys on a quick little test drive. I mean, these cars are pretty cheap, especially as used cars. So I guess if you're in need of something that's relatively new, it's not going to break the bank, it's decent if you don't really care about driving. I would get this over a Corolla, honestly. But in terms of what else is out there, you wouldn't dare see me signing my name on a Sentra. I'm curious to see what Nissan plans to do with this car, though. Now, the steering is artificially heavy, but very devoid of feel. It's the same thing in the 08. I don't really like the way the steering is tuned. The brakes feel better than the Ultima. They're not as light and touchy. You can see what I mean by the droning. I'm going to... And there's where you can see, that's why I don't like CVTs, is that droning. With the Ultima, with the V6, it's way different, especially you put it in DS mode, but that is just annoying to me. I don't like that droning noise. But I guess if you're not really going to accelerate hard, you probably won't notice. I'll show you a little demonstration of when you're not accelerating difficult or hard. Just this will be normal acceleration. So I guess when you're accelerating normally, it's not too bad. You don't really notice it. It's only when you really put your foot down, you notice just how irritating it is. It's just that constant holding of the RPM just really irritating to me. Anyways, guys, if you are in the market for a compact sedan that won't break the bank, I can definitely recommend the Sentra. I mean, it'll probably be on your list because they're very cheap to buy used. But if you're a driving enthusiast, you're going to be very disappointed in this car. Just better stick to a Civic or a Focus or a Mazda 3 or a Jetta. But anyways, thanks for watching.